Hi, today on Catherine Learns Stuff, I'm going to walk you through how to make these Santa's Village directional signs. So let's jump in. Before I start talking about how to assemble this project, I wanted to quickly go over something that I do in this video. This video, I go over how to make this Santa's Village directional signs that I've created, and you can get a copy of that file at my shop. But I've also made a video on how you can actually make this design by yourself in Cricut Design Space for free using all of the free features that are available there. And I left a link for that video below and possibly here as well. So we'll see if that works out. So I'm going to talk about how to make this using the file that I've created, but the assembly for this is the same with the file that I've created as it is with the file that you can create. It's just that my file is slightly different than what you get in Cricut Design Space. So let's start this project. So I quickly wanted to go over the supplies that we'll need to make this craft. If you're using 12 by 12 sheets of cardstock, you'll need 1 piece of yellow, 2 red, 1 white, and 2 green. If you want to use other sizes, you'll need more, but that's the size to get this done on 12 by 12s. You'll also need some glue and some double-sided foam tape. The last thing that you will possibly need, depending on how you want to attach this to your wall, is you can either use ribbon or you can use 3M command strips on each individual piece. Now, if you're like me and you like to use glitter, instead of using just regular cardstock, you can use glitter cardstock in place of the regular cardstock. So I've left a link below to a video of how to cut cardstock successfully. So make sure you take a look at that if you're going to be working with cardstock, with glitter cardstock, I mean. And I've also left a link for all the supplies that I've used here in the description below in case you want to use the same products that I have. Okay, so let's jump over to our computers and quickly get this file ready for cutting. So I wanted to quickly walk you through how to use the file that I've created for this Santa's Village directional signs. And what we need to do is once you've got the file saved on your computer, you're just going to simply upload it to your desktop. You're going to upload it to your Cricut Design Space. You can simply select the upload image button and then you can click and drag the button. Click and drag the file into your Design Space box here, or you can browse and find the file where you've saved it. I've already uploaded the file, so I'm just going to select it here and I'm going to add it to my canvas. There's not very much that needs to be done with this file. Just want to point out a few things for you. Everything is color coordinated, so all the greens are the same greens, all the yellows are the same yellows, all the reds are the same reds. If you want to change them, no issues, knock yourself out. I just want to point out though that right now the size of this is 8 inches height, 8 inches in height and 5 inches in width. If you want to change this, depending on what size paper you're using, I suggest you leave the lock on and you change this. I'm going to change this to like 10. And it's a little bit off because these candy canes here are pushing out the size, but this will give you a good size to create it on your cardstock. And so you can ungroup this if you'd like, and then you can change colors or you can change sizes. But like this is a good size. You can, go and make these all 10 inches in height, in length, so that they're just a little bit longer. This one here, I'm going to exclude my candy canes. And I'm just going to change that, and you've got your candy canes here. And the same with these ones. Now I'm going to be using 12 by 12 cardstock most likely for this. So I could actually go all the way up to 11.5 inches because that's sort of the biggest size that you can cut on your Cricut. So that'll give you a nicer size for your designs. So once you've got your sizes figured out, 10, 11.5 are good sizes for these. This is all ready to be cut out. So you simply need to select make it. I'm not going to save. So I'm going to cut these out and I will meet you at my workstation so that we can assemble this. Before we get started putting this together, I quickly wanted to just go over the pieces that we should have after we've cut everything out with our Cricuts. So we've got the North Pole phrase I've got it in yellow, white, green, and red, so it's got a bunch of backgrounds. I've got Reindeer Way with 2 backgrounds, Candy Cane Lane with 2 backgrounds, Santa's Workshop with 2 backgrounds, and Elf's Village with 2 backgrounds as well. Additionally, we should have 3 large green and 1 large red arrow 4 white arrows, 3 medium red arrows, and 1 medium green arrow, and then a small, medium, and large red, white, and green rectangles for our North Pole. So now that we have all of our pieces, it's time to start assembling this. I'm going to start off by assembling the arrows, and you have 2 options when you're doing this. You can either just glue them on, so you could take the green and the red and then the white and glue them on together if you'd like, or you can actually use foam tape to elevate them. So for the arrows, I'm going to be using just glue, but when I get to the letters, I'll be using foam tape to give them some more depth. And simply using my glue, I'm going to glue on the back side of the page and place it onto the top side. Now the glue that I'm using dries clearly, so if it's not perfectly aligned and I need to move it around, that's not an issue. I can just do that. Now I've prearranged these all so that they're quick to glue and I don't need to fumble finding all the pieces. So that one's done, and I'm going to continue on with the rest of them. Okay, so now that all of my arrows are complete, I'm going to quickly start to assemble the letters. So North Pole has the most number of layers just because I really wanted it to stand out, so that this is going to be sort of the top of our sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the North Pole in yellow onto the white so that I don't have the loose letters. And then I'm also going to glue the white onto the green, but then I'm going to use foam tape for the next layers. So I'm going to grab my tweezers for working with this because I find it's easier to work with the tweezers when I've got letters to use. I'm going to gently place this down. And I'm going to do the same thing for pole. My glue's a little bit runny today, so I'm just going to dab off this surplus here. Now this glue dries clear, so it shouldn't show up when it's done. It's just, today it seems to be very running. And I'm going to glue this onto the North Pole as well. And now that part's ready. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put foam tape onto the back of these and put them onto my red background. Now the North Pole goes onto this one here, and so what I'm going to do again is I'm going to use more foam tape to elevate this just a bit more to give this some more depth. Next I'm going to work on Santa's Workshop because that's the next one in my list, and I'm going to continue just by gluing, and I'm just going to continue by gluing this down just the same way I did last time. Okay, and then Santa's Workshop had the red, Santa's Workshop had the red and the green. So this is going to go onto the red green one, and I'm going to have it pointing in this direction. You can have them pointing in any direction that you would like. And this time here again, I'm going to use foam tape for these bits to elevate this. Now I like to use lots of foam tape. You can use little, the choice is yours. And now I'm just going to place this on top. And there's Santa's Workshop. So now I'm going to repeat this process for all the remaining letters, but I'm going to fast forward through this so that you don't have to watch all the details. Okay, so now we have all of our Santa workshop signs done, and there's some options that we have for putting this up onto the wall. So what you can do is you can use ribbon and attach them all together in a straight line, which I'll show you in a moment, or you can just leave them like they are, like this, and then use some command strips to tape them onto a wall. So I'm going to attach them all in on a ribbon, with a ribbon, and I'm going to kind of go left, right with them so that they go in each direction, and just like this. So I'm quickly going to grab some ribbon, and I'm going to go from the ribbon all the way up and over like this, and I think I'm going to use some green ribbon because I have lots of that. So when using ribbon, I don't recommend you do what I do and have it fall all over the place, but you want to have one ribbon, enough ribbon on one side to go this way, a little bit surplus to flip over the top of your North Pole like that, and then another length of ribbon kind of going down. And my ribbon has completely come unraveled, so it's not very good. So as I was saying, you want the ribbon to be long enough, to go up and down on both sides, and then have some surplus so that you can hang this. Now I'm going to go over how to do this so that these signs are all the same distance away from each other when we're gluing them, so that they don't kind of go all wonky. Now I'm going to attach the ribbon to my signs with a glue gun, just because I find that glue holds this ribbon better than just regular crafting glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my painting tape, because this doesn't stick to my paper, and I'm actually going to tape on each piece sort of straight in a line here so that they're not going to move on me. Now you can either tape on this side or on the back side, just so that they are straight. Now I'm going to do it on the front side, and then just in a few spots so that I can tape them straight and have them not moving around, because I don't want things moving around on me. Now my table's got lines on it, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to do this. And I want them sort of being close to each other, so maybe 2 or 3 squares apart, just so that it's sort of symmetric. So whatever distance you decide to use, you should try to use that same distance on all of them. So now that I've got these all 3 squares apart, and I've tried to line them up so that they're roughly in the same spots going this way and this way. This one's a little bit off. This one needs to be moved up a little bit this way. I'm going to fold my ribbon in half so that I know where the top is. And that's going to be kind of where I'm going to put a fold into it so that I know where the top is. And now my glue gun is hot, so I'm going to dab glue on to my back here. And I'm going to tape this down right about here. And now I'm going to squish this down. And I'm going to put glue in these spots here. And I'm actually going to move these 2 quickly, because I want them to be a little bit more color coordinated. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, and now I'm just gonna let the glue dry. Okay, and then you can leave the extra ribbon here. I'm gonna cut it off because I don't like the way that it looks. And since I glued sort of in the center here, I can cut this off so that it doesn't show up on the back side. All right. Oops. Now our sign is ready to be hung up on the wall. And there you have it. Your Santa's Village directional signs are complete. I hope you've enjoyed this craft as much as I have. If you tried this out, let me know how it turned out in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy crafting!